The sacred, mysterious Jomolhari mountain is home to the female protector goddess Jomo, believed to be bound under oath by Guru Padma Sambhava to protect the land, the Buddhist faith, and the local people of the land. Her beauty is beyond compare, but during the rainy season, she is usually shrouded by mystic clouds, barely revealing herself. Yet, as she hides away within the magical fog, it is not without showing an intimate part of her, as she offers to us a bountiful of colorful, delicate, and ornate alpine flora. For that reason, I am compelled, or rather, I am beckoned by the goddess herself to travel beyond an altitude of 4,000 meters to witness some of her most scenic yet ephemeral seasonal wonders.
Welcome to another episode of Floral Expedition with Sanjay Chafel. That's me, and this time around, I'm heading all the way up to Jomolhari Base Camp. I'm traveling with NBC, the National Biodiversity Center, where they're gonna go survey alpine vegetation and effects of climate change on alpine vegetation. And along the way, I'm sure we'll be discovering a lot of plant species. I'm really excited. I hope you're excited. Let's go.
The journey will take me 2 days to the base of Gankar Jomolhari, and it seems that the goddess is in a pleasant mood as we are blessed with a beautiful sunny day on the first day of the trek. We will be heading to Thangtangka, our night's halt for the day, an estimated 8 hours hike as our horses are well fed and rested to haul our equipments and rations to last for well over 2 weeks. Through the picturesque Paro Valley, this trek gives you with great variety of Bhutanese landscapes and is without a doubt one of the most beautiful and unspoiled trekking areas in the entire Himalayas. Weaving our way up the valley, crossing and recrossing the glistening glacial streams.
So this entire trek will be following upstream the Pachu River, all the way up to the source of Pachu. The river is really swollen because up in the mountains, I'm sure it's really raining hard. Wow, just the power of the river is just amazing.
This rare endemic maple species is a pleasant sight along the trail, providing much needed shade.
So as I mentioned before, along the trail to Jomolhari, we'll discover a lot of plants, and this particular plant here with almost like berries on top, with this crimson red color, is Phoenix pseudo ginseng, which basically means it's false ginseng. Very unique plant. I do believe they use this in traditional medicine, but a very beautiful plant.
With sore feet and almost out of breath, yet relieved to know that we are almost nearing our first day's destination, the day gives into the night with a sudden mountain chill in the air, as if the goddess has sent a message of greeting.
So after about 8 hours of hiking, I'm finally here in Thangtangka, our first day's base camp. I'm really glad. This trek was quite tough. The trail was really muddy, and there's all these rocks. You have to jump from rock to rock, so the heels of your foot really hurts. But a good trek, a very good first day's trek. I'm really glad we're here in the camp. All I want to do is rest, have some dinner, and just relax. So this is the second day of our trek. It should take about 4 to 5 hours. We're going to a place called Jangwathang, our final destination, and that's at the base of Jomolhari. It's a relatively easy trek. I had a good night's sleep last night, and I'm ready for our second day of trek.
Once again, with our horses packed, we continue on our journey on the second day to the base of Jomolhari mountain, locally known as Jangothang. It's a gradual ascent, a fairly easy hike of about 4 to 5 hours, and I must have done something right in appeasing the goddess as we enjoy yet another sunny day.
So on this trek, we will be reaching the alpine region, which means we're basically above the tree line. And as you notice, we'll already reach to a point where the tree line is almost disappearing, and soon we'll be at the alpine region.
As the trees gradually disappear, giving way to small shrubs, I do believe we have officially entered the alpine region. A short brisk climb leads to a small chitin on the trail, and beyond the ridge, off in the distance, is the village of Se. The landscape provides the first glimpse of some of the alpine flora, possibly medicinal in nature, such as this, Tetratanium nepolinus of the Apiaceae family. This brilliant pink flowering plant is called Helictrum thelodoni, locally known as tendu, as the roots of the plant is used to concoct a powerful poison to use during hunting. With varieties of colorful flowers all along the way, including the Pedicularis siphonotha, a tiny flowering plant, bright enough to catch the eye.
So along the trek, you find so many medicinal plants, and I've been told this peculiar plant is really medicinal, and this is edible apparently. So I'm gonna try it. And this particular fruit here is really good for cleaning out the blood. So I'm gonna try it. It's really fleshy. A lot of seed in there. Oh, that's really bitter. Oh. Really, really bitter. But I've been told this is really medicinal. It really helps out with cleaning the blood. I can't do it anymore. This is really bitter.
We passed through some of the scattered houses of the villages of Se, Takithang, and Dangochang at an altitude nearing 4,000 meters above sea level. This area is snowbound from mid-November until the end of March. The villagers here raise horses, yaks, and few sheep, and we are now entering yak country. As these huge beasts are seen across hillsides and lazing in meadows, grazing on luscious green grass of the season.
So after a beautiful hike, which took about maybe 5 hours, I'm finally here in my final destination, Jangothang. And as you can see, it's above 4,100 meters above sea level, which means clearly we're above the tree lines. And I'm really glad I'm here. And if you look behind me, that's Jomolhari mountain. But unfortunately, she's feeling really shy today, so she's not opening up. But I'm hoping that tomorrow morning, she will definitely open up to us and I get to get a glimpse of Mount Jomolhari. But today, I'm just gonna rest up because I'm just really happy that I'm here.
The early next day at the hamlet of Gankar Jomolhari, the National Biodiversity Team is busy at work trying to locate their plots to start the process of monitoring alpine vegetation within the Jomolhari base to survey the alpine plants.
Research on climate change impacts in the Himalayan has centered around glacial retreats, tree line advances, as well as phenological changes within the alpine vegetations. And today we have researchers from all over the world, including Bhutan, doing survey in various locations within the Jomolhari base to see the impact of climate change on alpine vegetation.
This initiative is a collaboration of biologists from all over the world, working together through a shared method of research in an effort to see the long-term implication of climate change on alpine vegetation. The project is known as GLORIA.
So GLORIA is an acronym for Global Observational Research Initiative in Alpine Environments. It's essentially a shared method. So we're working with this global network of people doing the same technique across mountain regions, essentially every major mountain region in the world. And it's a simple method. It's meant to be a long-term method such that we can revisit every 7 or 10 years and really get an idea of how vegetation is changing and how temperature is changing within the scope of climate change.
We want to look at the impact of climate change on alpine flora, alpine plants. So that's why we are doing it. And we are collaborating with Missouri Botanical Garden because they have the expertise in research methodology. We are using this global standard methodology developed by GLORIA. It's the Global Observation Research Initiative in Alpine Environment. They have these international standards to do this methodology so that the results of the summit sites or the research can be compared globally. So that's why we are collaborating with them.
Obviously, this research is a long-term process. It started 7 years ago, all in an effort to find the implication of climate change on alpine vegetation as well as the world in general.
The basic idea is that as temperatures warm, the ranges of plants on mountains may start to shift upwards. So these mountain summits that are formerly and currently a little bit cold and forbidding are starting to get warmer and warmer, and plants can grow at higher and higher elevations. So that's what we're trying to capture, and we do that by putting in these very detailed monitoring plots at different summits, from tree line up to the limit of plant life at the highest elevations.
The eastern Himalayan region particularly are critical when considering climate change. It is one of the most diverse temperate region of the world, and climatically it is predicted that there will be a rise of 5 to 6 degrees in temperature, making it one of the most vulnerable region of the world.
If we lose the alpine flora because of climate change, we will be losing so many species, right? We have a lot of very important plant species, medicinal plants and plants that we can use for many other purposes. So if we lose that, then it's going to impact the livelihood as well as our traditional medicine, for example. Yeah, so that's why it's very important for Bhutan, and globally as well. Yeah, I think the alpines are very vulnerable to climate change. So the whole, if we lose the whole alpine flora, then you can imagine that we'll lose the whole biome.
This alpine flora in Bhutan and throughout the Himalaya is unique. It's especially rich in number of species and in endemic species that are found nowhere else outside these alpine regions. And it's also, of course, very useful. These alpine areas are used for pasture land, for gathering medicinal plants, and for as sacred religious areas. And so when they start to disappear, when the forest moves up, when perhaps lower elevation invasive species move in, that becomes a threat to this unique and very important vegetation community.
Yeah, we just hope that we'll be able to do monitoring again. This is our first resurvey. We are doing the first monitoring, and after we are able to analyze the data, if we find if we find great impact or negative impact, then we hope that we'll be able to develop some strategy on how we can protect or conserve our alpine flora. So that's the hope, but just now we cannot say much because we are just doing the first survey and we have to compare what we had documented in the first, when we laid the plot in 2011. So we will do the comparison and then we will see what we can come out with. Yeah.
I think the thing to really emphasize here is how much this relies on collaboration. So Gloria is this network of collaborators working across the world. And then here in the Himalaya, I'm so lucky to be part of this collaboration involving the National Biodiversity Center and then also Tribhuvan University. We're joined by Dr. Suresh Gamire from Tribhuvan University in Nepal.
While the National Biodiversity and Gloria team continue their tedious research of monitoring the plants at the survey site, Gankar Jomolhari whispers softly, tantalizing me with an undeniable hypnotic aura, inducing me to come closer. Without a strand of resistance and hesitation in my body, I give into her call wholeheartedly, effortlessly putting one foot in front of the other, as if some magical synergy has engulfed my entire being, making the 2-hour hike as easy as pie. Like leaving a trail of cookie crumbs for me to follow, the goddess appears in the form of a beautiful blue poppy, an exciting discovery.
I'm really ecstatic I found this flower here. This is the blue poppy, and the scientific name for this flower is Mechanopsis simplicifolia, and it belongs in the blue poppy family. As you're aware, our national flower is the blue poppy, and the scientific name of our national flower is Mechanopsis coccidiana. Unfortunately, we can't find it here in the base camp of Jomolhari. It's normally found in Merak and Saktin, and hopefully I'll have the opportunity to witness our national flower when I do visit Merak and Saktin. But nevertheless, I'm really excited that I found this flower here, Mechanopsis simplicifolia, the blue poppy here in Jomolhari base. This is just amazing.
As I reach closer, Gankar Jomolhari seems to open up just enough to get the blood pumping.
Having had come all the way to Jangwathang, I had to come visit the famous Gankar Jomolhari. She was quite shy, not showing herself, so I decided to come here and pay my respect to the famous Jomolhari mountain.
The closer I get, just like the elusive snow leopard, the great Gankar Jomolhari seems to elude further away. Is this a cruel way of tormenting me, or maybe a test to see how far I will come? I keep moving on up, trying my best to get as close to the goddess as possible, and again, I am treated to a magical view of the lake for my efforts.
So here at the lake, at the base of Mount Jomolhari and the source of Parochu, finally made it all the way up here. It's got a very muddy color, can't really see through it, but regardless, this is the lake and this is the source of Parochu.
It's amazing how this unforgiving land has so much life to offer, with arrays of peculiar and colorful plants that sways ever so gently in the wind.
Mount Jomolhari stands more than 7,000 meters above sea level, and this is such a humbling experience for me. And just to gaze upon the beautiful, beautiful Gankar Jomolhari is such a privilege. This is an honor for me.
With much gratitude, I slowly start my descent back to the base camp, somewhat reluctant to leave the grand presence of the goddess Jomolhari. Nevertheless, satisfied with having the opportunity to be in the vicinity of a deity. The image of the mystical Gankar Jomolhari will forever be etched in my heart, and I pray that I will once again be called upon by the goddess in the future. Revitalized with a newfound energy, today I'm literally climbing up to the glacial lake at the base of Mount Jichudrake. This journey will take me about 3 hours from the base camp of Jungothong. With hardly any proper trails, I make my way up through some precarious ridge that seems to give way at any moment. But it's a good risk, as this makeshift trail reveals some interesting flora.
There's so many varieties of alpine vegetation, and this particular plant right here is called Onosma drimuk, and in our Shashop language we call it Drimukti. And why is this plant important? I'm really excited by this plant because when we do religious ceremony, when the monks make the torma, the red paint that they use, it's from the root of this plant. The root apparently gives off a red dye, and this is what they use to paint the torma. And I'm really excited I found this plant.
Jichudrake, the sister mountain located east of Gangkar Jomolhari, is the home to the glacial lake, a tranquil place. And the sound of silence is almost deafening. Huge chunks of glacial ice float around peacefully in an undisturbed manner. Time seems to slow down just at that moment, giving off an aura of an out-of-this-world atmosphere.
That spectacular view behind me is the lake at the base of Jichudrake mountain. And I wouldn't have forgiven myself having come all the way here at the alpine region of Jomolhari and not come visit the lake here at Jichudrake. And if you look way yonder, that blue color there, that's the glacier, and it's just awe-inspiring. Along the way, we saw some blue poppy and a lot of alpine flowers, and this entire trip has just been wonderful. I couldn't ask for anything more. This is truly heaven on earth.
There is an essence of a hypnotic pleasure with a pinch of sadness in gazing upon a floating ice in the emptiness of his silence.
So now I can truly say, not just have I witnessed the glaciers, I can finally touch the glaciers. And right here, this, oh, that's slippery. Right here, that's a chunk of glacier ice, right here. Just fantastic. Oh my God, this is wonderful, just fantastic. Oh, it's so cold to the touch. Even the water is freezing. Luckily the sun has come out. The temperature here is generally really cold. And here we see and touch the ice from the glaciers of the base of Jichudrake mountain. And this just goes to show the ice is melting. Another sign of climate change, which is a huge issue. And we should be all be aware of it and make changes from our grassroots level, from our home level, so that ice like this won't be melting. But we need to all do our part, I guess. But regardless, this is such a wonderful opportunity to touch the ice. I'm so excited. I want to kiss it as well. Woo! That's cold to the lips. Wonderful, just wonderful.
Mount Jichudrake stands at an altitude of about 6,900 meters above sea level and is also known as Tsiringmegang, meaning snow of the goddess of long life. Jichudrake has a double summit, and a local story has it that the double peak originated because Jichudrake teased a young girl while she was weaving, resulting in her hitting Jichudrake on the head with the thumb, the piece of wood used to beat a new line while weaving, producing the double peak.
Today I'm heading towards Topu, and there's apparently 2 lakes all the way up in the mountains, and this is the place where you can find chukameto and blue poppies. I'm really excited. It's about 2 hours walk from Janggothang. It's continuously raining, which is making it miserable, but I don't care because I want to go find chukameto and blue poppies. So come on, let's go.
Through an epic valley floor, continuously soaked with a light shower, the last leg of my journey takes me through some of the most scenic riverside views along the valley. This river that originates from the lakes high above in the mountains is another source of Parochu, with breathtaking waterfalls feeding the river. As I near the banks of the lake, the field is surrounded by these bright pink restorator plants. And then the valley just opens up to a grand lake in the mountains, to what appears to be like a lake in the sky.
Finally here at Topu, and just a spectacular view. This trek was so worth it. Along the way, unfortunately, I couldn't find any chukameto or blue poppy, but regardless of that, just this view of this lake is breathtaking, just beautiful. With a spectacular view in front of me, with this turquoise blue lake and the majestic mountains, I end my journey here in the land of the lakes and the land of the yaks. Truly heaven on earth. Until next time, goodbye.